rubberneck our way around here. Let's go ahead and rubberneck around right here. No. Go, guys. But listen, being a Pittsburgh Steelers fan must be tough. Not as tough as being a Cleveland Browns fan, but being a Pittsburgh Steelers fan must be tough. From being just happy to having yet another winning season. Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season, to be in first round exits, to having a top ranked defense, but the offense is bottom tier. It must be tough being a Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Year after year, they can't do crap with a great defense, a nice running game. Well, they can do crap. They can have a winning season, 9-8, and they can be a first round wild card exit. However, this offseason, they finally did some work. This offseason, they traded a second-round draft pick for DK Metcalf. Guys, they brought in DK Metcalf to help round out this wide receiver room. They've been earning for that nice wide receiver core for a very, very long time. So, guys, will DK Metcalf and George Pickens be the best wide receiver duo in the NFL in 2025? When I was first presented this question, my dad actually presented me this question. Thank you for that, Pops. I was like, there is no freaking way. Because we just talked about Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. I have reportedly said that Jordan Addison is the top number 2 receiver in the NFL. And of course, the Justin Jefferson is one of the top receivers in the NFL as well. There are other people out there too, right? You have CeeDee Lamb and Turpin. Could be a nice little receiver duo. But when you think about this, let's think about this logically, right? George Pickens was the number 1 receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers last season. Since his rookie season, he's been the number 1 guy. DK Metcalf was the number 1 guy in Seattle as well. So logically speaking, you have 2 number 1 guys now pairing up to be a number 1 and number 2 wide receiver deal. So logically speaking, obviously a former number 1 receiver on said team should be better than a T. Higgins and Jordan Addison and whoever else you might want to throw up there, a Waddle or Devontae Smith. I mean, it is very, very plausible here, right? Because if you think about this, George Pickens heading into Week 18 just needed 99 yards for his second straight 1,000-yard season. Of course, he ended up finishing with 900 yards, 100 yards away, but that's a story for a different day. In 2023, he did have a 1,140 yards receiving along with 5 touchdowns. And last season, DK Metcalf had yet another 900-yard season. 6 years in a row, 6 years in his career, all over 900 yards receiving, 3 of them which he broke 1,100 yards. DK Metcalf is the most underrated wide receiver in the NFL. Overlooked. Guys, put some respect on the man's name. Guys, both of these guys are number 1 receivers on 90% of the other teams in the NFL. If George Pickens goes to the Jacksonville Jaguars, he is the number 1 guy. If he goes to the Houston Texans, he's the number 1 guy. If he goes to the San Francisco 49ers, he's probably the number 1 guy. But you see, to be a great duo, you have to get yardage. To be a great duo, you got to have a quarterback that can throw you the freaking ball. And that's exactly what the Pittsburgh Steelers do not have. Yes, I understand they have Mason Rudolph. Yes, I understand they got the man, the myth, the legend, Skylar freaking Thomas from the Kansas State University, my boys. But let's just be honest. Mason Rudolph is not going to be able to push the ball down the field enough to make it a true deep threat. The play calling by Arthur Smith is suspect at best. He's a terrible play caller. We saw it last year. You can't do shit when you want to run the ball 80% of the time, and you can't even run when your offensive line sucks, but whatever. Guys, the Pittsburgh Steelers duo of DK Metcalf and George Pickens has the potential to be a very lethal duo in the NFL. They have the potential to be the best duo in the NFL. They have the potential to lead the Pittsburgh Steelers to the Super Bowl. Well, guess what? No quarterback, no really threat of smart play calling, and Mr. Conservative himself, Mike Tomlin, hey, let's just get worried about nine wins and we'll be happy. Guys, they have the potential, but it is not going to happen. They're not the best duo. They will not even be a top 5 duo in the NFL. Because when you think about this logically, they have the Vikings, you have JJ and Addison. I'm just going by what I'm not putting them in any order. Then you have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Then you have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Then you have Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. Then you have Rashid Rice and Hollywood Brown. And then let's not forget about Washington. Like, you have Scary Terry and freaking Debo, right? And then let's think about Seattle. You have Jackson Smith Najigba along with Cooper Kupp. Like, guys, there are so many other options out there. They have the potential, yes, but it's not going to happen. Quarterback issues and piss poor Arthur Smith. Should have hired Kellen Moore when you had the shot. But hey, whatever. It is what it is. What it is. Old Man River says they're not the best duo. It's in Minnesota. Minnesota's got the best duo. Oh, let's not forget about the Lions either. They got freaking St. Brown and Jameson, right? They're both tail dogs, right? And Ant says, that's laughable, man. Ant's like, here, let me see if I can get you something for you. I guess I don't have a laughing track. Yes, I do somewhere. Where's it at? Come on now. Maybe I don't have a laughing track. What is this? No. But, yeah. Ant says that's laughable. You're right, Ant. Now, let me ask you this, those guys. Obviously, we're saying it is laughable not because it's DK Metcalf and George Pickens. I'm saying it is laughable because of the quarterback play, Mason Rudolph. I'm saying it is laughable because of Arthur Smith. Let's just play in this fantasy what if world, right? What if DK Metcalf and George Pickens were in Minnesota? You take out Justin Jefferson and Addison, like all that. George Pickens takes Addison's spot. DK takes JJ's spot. Are we laughing then? Probably not, right? So it's all about where they're at. I think what makes it laughable. James says, "What do you mean? What do you mean to round out the wide receiver room? DK and Pickens are going to be fighting on the field by game 3. No. They're going to be fighting by game 1. They're going to be fighting to see who is alpha male. Because DK got that, what was it, 5-year deal, $150 million. George Pickens is in the final year of his rookie deal, looking to get paid. Yeah, there's going to be some egos to get hurt. George Pickens will probably be the odd man out. Unfortunately, it's just what it is. What it is. You can't pay everybody, right? Because TJ wants to get his bread too. But hey, we'll see. James Frank says, depend on who is throwing them the ball, though. And James, I agree with that. If Aaron Rodgers comes to Pittsburgh with DK Metcalf and George Pickens, would Arthur Smith limit them still, though? Like, I think the biggest drawback, honestly, for me is Arthur Smith. His play calling was horrendous last season. I guess I should have looked at, is Arthur Smith still on the Pittsburgh Steelers coaching staff? I'm pretty sure, right? Guys, correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, I think it's the play calling. Like, honestly, I think it's Mike Tomlin, Mr. Good job, guys. What do you get? 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Let's not get too crazy. Let's not get too good. We just want to be average. Let's not raise the expectations. We just want to be average. And James says, and Pittsburgh ain't got no damn quarterback. You're right, baby. You're right. WBN says, let's not forget about Devontae Adams and Puka. Let's not forget about Smith and Chase. Chase and Higgins and Jetta and Addison and Debo and Scary Terry. Look, Ant, you're preaching to the choir, baby. Now, Devontae Adams and Puka, let's slow it down, baby. Let's slow it down, baby. We'll see what Devontae Adams has left in the tank. He is getting a little long in the tooth, right? We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Old Man River says Kirk Cousins is going to Pittsburgh, so they will be the best duo. And we'll see. We'll see if Kirk Cousins, we'll see if our predictions come to fruition. Draft day is 10 days away, right? WBN says, if we're being honest, Pittsburgh overpaid for DK. Not too many other teams will be making him $30 million a season. And honestly, I don't think they overpaid for DK. Go back and look at his stats. Go back and use your DK passes the eye test. He plays with passion. He plays with heart. He has football IQ, and he gives 100% each and every down. Stats are nice. The 900 plus yards every season. I wish he could find the end zone a little bit more, but that's the Seattle with Geno Smith, right? Of course, Russell Wilson, but whatever. We digress. But I think DK Metcalf is going to come out there and he's going to prove a lot of haters wrong this season. James says, I hope Arthur Smith is in Pittsburgh for years to come. Tough. That's tough. That is tough. But they do like being average.